Fortunately, we forged a nice relationship with Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, swing state, and he joins us now from Washington. He is he's a ranking member on the Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations, which is, of course, the Bidens and their finances. First of all, reaction to the new House Speaker.
Well, Bill, I'm glad they do have a speaker now. I figured they'd eventually sort it out. It took a little while, but now they have a speaker. I would say the problems in the House really have not set us back at all because, we're still here, fiddling like Nero as Rome burns here in the Senate. We're not exactly the rocket docket, so we're not passing anything. We're barely voting on a minibus appropriation bill, starting to vote on some amendments. So again, it was messy. It was somewhat unfortunate, but it looks like they found a consensus pick, and I'm looking forward to working with the new speaker to start addressing the very serious challenges facing this nation.
All right. He's not your little brother or anything, right? Do you know him at all? Do you know him?
No, I haven't worked with the speaker. I've seen him do questioning and hearings. Seems very intelligent, very articulate. Obviously, he was consensus picked by the House, so I've got confidence in my Republican colleagues in the House who have picked a good man.
Okay. One of the first things that are going to come up is the spending to keep the government open, the same old merry-go-round that you guys are always on every 2 or 3 months. Israel, Biden wants to give Israel an enormous amount of money. Would you vote yes for that?
Well, right now the debate is, do we do this as a big package where we include 3 or 4 different elements? I think it's pretty strong consensus within our conference, the Republican conference, to treat Israel separately. There's strong bipartisan support. It would pass almost overwhelmingly, almost unanimously in the Senate, probably in the House as well. We don't know where this thing is going. If it's strictly limited to Gaza, there's a certain level of support that you need to provide Israel. If there's a northern front that opens up with Hezbollah, it's Katie bar the door. We're seeing drone attacks on U.S. Bases where U.S. personnel are. We just got word from the administration some U.S. Service members were injured, fortunately slightly injured. They're all back on duty apparently in a drone attack, I believe, in a Syrian base. So we don't know what's going to happen when Israel finally starts the ground attack into Gaza.
No, nobody knows. But
you may be looking at something completely different here.
You're generally favorable to funding Israel and giving them American taxpayer dollars so they can defend themselves. Would that be inaccurate?
Yes, I think the vast majority of members of Congress are Democrat and Republican.
Okay. And I wouldn't dispute
let's not mess
that.
it up with the controversial items.
All right. Now, Ukraine, if the United States were to stop funding it, Putin would win because the only thing keeping Putin at bay are American weapons and money flowing into that country, which is historically corrupt, as you know. What about Ukraine?
Well, whether you agree or disagree with more support for Ukraine, it's more controversial. And certainly there are an awful lot of Americans who are wondering why Biden is more concerned about Ukraine's border than our own southern border. So this might be an opportunity when you have now Hamas days of rage, the potential of terrorists coming across the southern border. There will be a big effort to attach true border security to any aid package to Ukraine. I think most Americans, members of Congress, highly sympathetic with the people, the courageous people of Ukraine. But we're also very sympathetic with Americans, the drug trafficking, the terror.
Yeah, everybody knows the problems. Right. Now, the polls show that the vast majority of Americans, 70%, don't want the open border. They think this migrant invasion is bad for the country. Yet Biden won't do anything to stop it. So the prevailing wisdom on the right is that Biden's a captive to the far left progressive money men, all right, that fund his campaign. And I don't know whether you saw it, but we laid that out last week. Jeffrey Katzenberg is in charge of all the fundraising. He's a big Hollywood mogul. Soros is pumping money in there. A whole bunch of other, Steve Jobs' widow, massive amounts of money going into the Biden campaign. So Biden's not going to do anything to alienate that far left money. That's why he's ignoring the border totally. Do you buy that?
I don't know what his motives, but he's absolutely for an open border. And his Democrat henchmen in the Senate and the House are completely backing him up. So we need to secure our border. As I said, when Hamas is calling for days of rage, 1.7 million known gotaways. We don't know who these people are, but you think there might be a terrorist or two included in that. So what Biden has asked for in his supplemental package is something like $13 billion for what they call border security. It's not border security. It's going to actually increase illegal
to get more people in and process.
More rapid dispersion.
Right.
Yeah, it's a joke. So this will be the one opportunity where we can withhold cloture on the overall package, split out support for Israel, and demand a real debate and real border security being passed.
All right. So let me just recoup. It's a little complicated. One, Israel should be a part because that is an ongoing urgent situation to protect the Israeli people. You support the American dollar going over to help that. Two, Ukraine and the border should be tied in. If you're going to continue funding Ukraine, then the Biden administration has to seal up the border. Do I have it right?
Yeah, and again, that's the only way we're going to get real.
No, I agree. I mean, the guy is. I don't know how anybody could vote for Joe Biden, and I mean that in a non-ideological way. I mean, the man is just unbelievable. I'm coming at it from a historian's point of view. I know how these presidents perform.